Hello and welcome. This is a beginner's friendly yoga practice specifically targeted towards the lower back and even more so targeted towards shift workers, fifo workers, or anyone who's spent a lot of time sitting down or a lot of hours on their feet working hard. So I'm hopeful that this practice will support you and really restore your body after all of the hard work that you do. So all you really need today is either a bolster or a block if you have one of those. If you don't have that, that's fine. We'll just work without. So if you do have blocks, just send 2 blocks to the top of your mat. If you are using a bolster, just send that up to the top, or if you're using a pillow, otherwise you can just use that as your support. All right, so we'll come down to a seated position to begin. Just beginning to cross your legs, and if you do need to support yourself, you could always glide a block or that bolster underneath the hips. Otherwise, just getting comfortable where you are. Begin to elongate the spine. Let your shoulder blades draw back and down. And we'll just close down our eyes, taking this moment to connect with both our bodies, our spirit, and our breath. So you might just begin by expanding into the belly with the breath in, and just watching the breath as it ascends all the way up into your chest, your lungs, your heart space, region of your body, and towards the upper back. On the exhale, drop the breath like an anchor back down towards the base of your spine and let it ground you down in your seat. Take another deep breath in, the belly expands with the breath, and you're watching as that breath moves up, ascending and expanding up into the chest. Exhale, emptying, grounding, feeling that release, that emptying sensation as the belly sort of contracts and pulls in with the exhale. Inhale, expanding once again, feeling the chest lift, belly rise. And exhale, watching the breath descend back down the body. So every breath in, you're looking for this sensation of expansion and lengthening of the breath. Belly rises, chest expands. And emptying, letting go with that exhalation. See if you can just gift yourself 3 more deep breaths in this way. Breathing in all the way up through, bringing your focus right up to the top of the head. So you're noticing your posture now in your seat. Exhale, emptying, bringing your attention down to the base of your spine as it grounds you down towards the earth, wherever it is you're seated today. 2 more big breaths in. Long breath out. Last big breath in. And a long breath out. Taking the time to welcome in any personal intentions you'd like to bring to this practice or this time that you've got carved out to focus on you today, to give yourself some time of your own nourishment and your own care for whatever it is you need from this time that you've gifted yourself today. You might choose 1 word of intent. It might come as a statement in your mind of something that you need or you'd like to walk out of this practice feeling or embodying. As you find whatever that intention is, just take 1 more big breath in, a long breath out, and release. Beginning to open your eyes now, we'll start with a twist. So taking your right hand towards your left knee and take the left hand all the way around and behind and just begin to gaze over that opposite shoulder. So you're looking over the left shoulder. Big breath in. Long breath out. Breathe in as you lengthen and lift through your torso. And exhale as you gaze and look a little bit further over that opposite shoulder behind you. Big breath in and a long breath out. Drawing your left hand over towards the right knee and gaze and look over your right shoulder. Take a big breath in as you lengthen and lift through the spine. And exhale as you twist and look deeper over that shoulder behind you. Big breath in. And exhale, gaze and twist. 1 more deep breath in. Exhale completely. And breathe in as you draw yourself back through to center. From here, just beginning to fold forward in your seat. So whichever foot is ahead of you, that's perfectly fine. In this cross-legged position, just folding forward and just starting to walk your hands as far out ahead as they can comfortably go. And take 3 deep breaths. Continuing to focus on that feeling of expansion and ascension of the inhalation as you inspire. And that emptying of the exhalation, that feeling of letting go or guiding the energy back down your body. Take 1 more big breath in and a long breath out. And then just walk your hands back. Take a look down now at your feet in your cross-legged position, and then just uncross your feet and bring the opposite foot just a little bit in front. So this just brings the stretch more equally into the opposing hip. So we just hinge forward once again in the same fashion. Take a big breath in and you've got 3 long emptying breaths. Letting the hands fall as far forward as you can comfortably unravel. Taking 2 more big breaths in, long breaths out, last big breath in, and a long breath out. Bringing yourself all the way back up. This time taking the right hand to the left side of the head and then tilt the head over to the right. As you do this, let the left shoulder blade draw back and down. So you can feel sort of gravity pulling that left shoulder down as you feel this stretch, big opening sensation along that left side as you tilt to the right. Taking 3 more big breaths in and out. Deep breath in, a long breath out, last deep breath in. And then just tilting your gaze down now, so the chin will tuck towards your chest and you're keeping the same hand positioning, but just bringing your gaze or your eye level down towards your thighs. Feeling that stretch draw a little bit deeper along the back of the neck now. Taking 2 big breaths in and out. Deep breath in and out. Releasing that right side. And take the left hand to the right side and tilt the head now over to the left. Feeling this big opening along that second side as the head is tilted. Big breath in and a long breath out. Deep breath in, long breath out. 1 more big breath in, drawing that opposite shoulder blade back and down. And then tuck your chin to the chest, keep the hand positioning the same, gaze down towards your thighs. Deep breath in and a long breath out. 2 more big breaths in and out. Last full breath in and a long breath out. Draw your head back to neutral and then just take a few rolls through the neck. So letting your neck tilt over to the right, circling it forward. Starting to move in a clockwise direction for a few circular motions. And you can really slow this one down if you need to. And then taking a few stirs the other direction, anti-clockwise. Taking the movement fast or slow, just feeling the sensations in the neck and shoulders as you relax into the breath. Bringing the head back to neutral, and then just beginning now to take your legs around and behind, and we'll start to work our way through a cat-cow motion. So the shoulders are stacked now on top of the wrists, your knees are hip distance apart, and you're beginning to dome out the upper thoracic spine. So tuck your chin to the chest, hug your belly into the rib cage, accentuate this big curvature in the upper back, engage your core, and really feel a moment of letting go as you hug everything in through the front line of your body, but open everything up along that back body. Take an inhale as you now drop your hips, look up towards the ceiling and lengthen through the spine, opening up the throat, feeling that reverse action throughout the spine. Exhale, the shoulders dome out, we tuck our chin to the chest, we hug the belly in towards the rib cage, and inhale, look up, lengthen, opening up the throat. Exhale, shoulders dome out, chin to chest, belly to ribs. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Working through about 5 more rounds of breath as you move between those two variations. You can take this as fast or as slow as you feel comfortable to go, but try to sync your cat-cow motion to the rhythm of your breath. You might even like to vary the movement and start to stir your hips side to side, just noticing any niggly spots in the body and just starting to work your awareness and breath towards those places. Once you feel complete with your cat-cow motions, start to ground through the finger pads, spread through the palms, so you've got 5 points of stability in your hand, grounding and anchoring down through each finger pad. Then, once your hand grip is quite spread, almost like a frog, rise all the way up into a downward facing dog. So let your knees lift up off the earth, your sit bones will lift high, your feet are hip distance apart, and you're right up on the tippy toes. So a good way to gauge if your downward facing dog is the correct length is to just travel all the way from this downward facing dog position into a high plank. So as you do this, you'll bring your body weight forward, your shoulders will stack perfectly in line with your wrists, you can maintain a neutral spine, a flat back, and you're still light on the toes. From there, you might even be able to bring your shoulders even more forward over the wrists, hug even tighter through the core, and hold that stability. So now we have the length that we want in our downward facing dog. Once you find this plank position, just start to fold all the way back, letting the sit bones ascend higher and higher till you create this sort of pyramid shape where the sit bones will lift up, the core is still actively ignited, it's still on, and you're rising a little bit higher up onto your tippy toes now, letting your chest actively fold back through towards your thighs as you perhaps hold steady and still and enjoy this deep body stretch, connected to your breath, or otherwise just gently pedal out through your feet. So the right heel will press down to the mat as the left knee bends, and you'll just shift side to side, jogging out through the calf muscles and hamstrings. Giving yourself about 5 slow breaths as you hold this position in downward facing dog. Feet hip distance apart, right up on the tippy toes, chest folding back through towards your thighs, feeling this big stretch through the lats, the chest, the shoulders and the back as you gently tuck your chin in towards the chest and continue to focus on your breath and the stretch. Taking about 2 more big breaths in, and a long breath out. From here, travel all the way back into your high plank position, and then just begin to create this sort of spring-like sensation. So the knees are going to spring back towards your heels, and then lifting your sit bones high back up into downward facing dog. So you're creating this sort of wave-like motion now. Inhale, travel forward into your high plank. Exhale like a spring, the knees are springing or shooting back towards your heels. You'll feel the energy in the legs. Sit bones lift up, you return to your downward facing dog. Inhale, travel forward. So working through about 2 more of these sort of spinal waves. Knees springing back towards the heels. Sit bones lift high, you're in downward facing dog, and inhale, travel forward into your high plank. 1 more round, creating that spring-like sensation. Sit bones lift high, and inhale, travel back forward into your high plank. This time, hold the high plank, tip forward onto the tippy toes, shoulders are right over the wrists, engage through the core, hold, spread through the palms, ground through those finger pads, and feel a protraction through your shoulders. So I want you to draw your shoulder blades apart as you resist the mat. Feel those 2 scapulars, your shoulder blades, sort of pulling apart as you feel just your shoulder girdle lift away from the mat. Then doing the opposite option to ground your knees here, or staying on the toes in this high plank position, retract the shoulder blades. So feel just the shoulder blades squeeze closer together as you feel yourself lower closer to the mat. And just your shoulder girdle is sort of lowering and lifting. Then again, we protract, we resist, pull apart. Scapulars pull apart from one another. There's more of an opening just there in the shoulder blades, and then we squeeze them back together, feeling them almost touching with those bones as you resist and drop your torso closer to the mat. Pulling apart, you'll notice this gentle motion just in the upper body. Protracting, scapulars pull apart, those shoulder blades, retracting, squeeze together. One more round. Protract, pull apart, resist the mat. Retract, feel just that shoulder girdle lower closer. Last one, protract, tip forward onto the tippy toes. Slowly now lower like a push-up through chaturanga. So the elbows are going to bend towards your waistline as you slowly lower your chest down towards the earth. The shoulders are still over our wrists. Hover and hold just before you find the earth, then slowly release your belly down. As you find this position, we'll work our way through 3 cobra variations. So the hands are situated directly underneath your shoulders, the elbows are tucked in close towards the waistline, and we're taking our first round of cobra. This round, I'd like you to bring your focus in towards the lower back muscles. As you start to engage all of those muscles in the lower back, see if you can just hover your wrists off the earth and lift your chest using only the lower back muscles. So you're starting to switch on those lower back extensors as your chest lifts up above the earth. Hovering those wrists above, lifting the chest up as high as you can go without using the support of your hands just yet. Then exhale, lower your chest back down to the earth. This round, see if you can start to elevate your chest in the same way, without using your hands immediately. So we're lifting our chest all the way up as we breathe in. Lower back extensors are engaging. Then ground through the finger pads. See if you can press up an inch or so more using the support of your hands. On the next exhale, lower your torso back down towards the earth. Third round. Inhale, lower back muscles engage, lifting your chest up off the mat. Option to not use the wrist support at all, or if you'd like, ground through the finger pads, see if you can lift an inch or so more, and then lift all the way, lifting out of the shoulders, opening up the throat. Big breath in as you arrive in that deepest variation of cobra, this big back bend, and then exhale, let that lead your body back down towards the earth, imprinting the belly all the way back down. Nice work. From here, take your hands out wide, so you're creating sort of a wider cactus sort of arm at the side. So your fingertips are just grounded towards your earth. You're lifting the base of the wrist up, so you've only got the support of the fingers now. And our elbows are wide at this 90-degree angle, wide of our mats. Then still coming into cobra, we're going to press into the finger pads, engage those lower back extensors, and start to lift our chest up off the earth, perhaps even lifting up our throat, seeing how high we can go. On the exhale, let that lead you back down towards the earth. Inhale, press into the finger pads, start to use those lower back extensors, lift your chest up, maybe even open up the throat. Exhale, ease your way back down. We've got one more round like this, Hasta Bandha Cobra. Grounding into the finger pads, use those lower back muscles first. Awareness is on the lower back, lift your chest as high as it will go, maybe even open up the throat, and then exhale, lower down. From here, release your hands down by your sides, draw the shoulders away from the neckline, palms rotate in towards our torso. We're going to lift our legs, lift our arms, lift our chest, but keep our gaze straight down to the mat line below us. So you're not straining your neck in this one, but you're lifting the whole body into the extension. The shoulders are going to draw away from your neckline as you keep reaching those fingertips back through towards your feet. hugging your inner thigh muscles together. So the inner thighs are almost magnetized here. Spin your pinky toes down towards the earth and keep lifting. Lift your chest. Keep drawing those shoulders away from your neckline. Keep your gaze down towards the mat line. See how high you can lift in this position. Inner thighs hug, pinky toes spin down, shoulders draw away from neck, gazing down to the mat, lifting up, feeling all of those back body muscles on. And then exhale, ground yourself back down. Release yourself from the shape. From here, just pressing up through a reverse chaturanga. So ground through the finger pads, pressing all the way up. So bring your hands up underneath the line of your shoulders, ground through the finger pads, press up through chaturanga like a reverse push-up. Let your sit bones lift high, ending up in downward facing dog. And take 3 big breaths, chest folding through towards your thighs, feet a hip distance apart, pedaling out the feet, or just enjoying a moment to be stable and still in this stretch, connected to your breath. From here, just beginning to gaze through towards the top of the mat, walk, step, or jump your way into a forward fold position. So the feet are hip distance apart here, and we'll likely be using our blocks or our bolster, which is set up ahead of us. So just taking those 2 blocks, if you've got them, to the highest level. So to this highest level, about shoulder width distance apart. If you're using something else like a pillow or a bolster or something sort of supportive, just place that bolster long ways in front of your hands. Now we're going to come into our forward fold. So hinging forward from your hips, you're catching the elbows, your feet are hip distance apart, and you're just letting the arms either just dangle forward, or you can otherwise catch the elbows with your hands and sort of circle and stir from the hips. Bending the knees a little or quite a lot if you're quite tight through the hamstrings today. Relax your neck, relax your face, and relax your jaw as you soften into the shape. Close down your eyes and connect with the feeling of the exhalation as it helps anchor you into this grounded stretch. Notice the sensation of the feet meeting the earth, the mat below. Noticing this nice big stretch that's occurring along that back line of your body, up along the hamstrings, into the lower back, that lumbar spine. And the more that you bend the knees, the more you'll actually feel that opening up the lumbar region of your spine. Breathing deeper into the belly as you feel the belly expand with breath, and keep watching your breath as it ascends up high through to your chest, almost like you're filling up the rib cage and your back body with that breath. And you might even notice the emptying of the diaphragm with your exhales. Taking 1 more big breath in, and on the next exhale, release your right hand down towards the earth and sweep your left hand high. So you're gazing up and your wrist is stacked over the shoulder is over the wrist, and the wrist and shoulder are directly stacked below you. So you've got this nice alignment right here in the middle, big opening twist for your chest, but also a twist for the midline of your body. Take 1 more big breath, almost reaching that top hand to the sky, and then exhale, release the left hand down towards the earth as you sweep the right hand up high, looking up towards the right hand if your neck allows, using the support below if you need to, or otherwise the left hand just finds the earth. Take a big breath in and a long breath out. 1 more big breath in and a long breath out. We'll move through this stretch once more each side. So releasing the right hand down to the block, left hand sweeps up high, looking up towards the sky. Big breath in, long breath out. 1 more big breath in and release the left hand down, right hand to the sky. Big breath in for 2, long breath out. 1 more big breath in and a long breath out. Just dropping back into the forward fold, so both arms release, catching the elbows, stirring from the hips side to side. Release your arms fully, and then just begin to reach your arms wide, reach all the way up, rise up and stand up now. The hands sweep all the way up above your head like a mountain, And then exhale, release the arms down beside you. From here, we'll work through a movement called a spinal roll down. So you're reaching your hands just down beside you, and then tuck your chin to the chest. Start to dome out that upper thoracic spine, so feeling this curvature in the upper back as your chin tucks to the chest, and we just move vertebrae by vertebrae now. So the upper thoracic, upper back region is going to start first, chin to chest, doming out that upper back. Mid back starts to follow, creating this big curvature, and then the lower back follows. Then as you get down into your fold, as far as you can comfortably unravel, start to micro bend your knees and see if you can roll vertebrae by vertebrae all the way up. So lower back is going to begin, then mid back will start to follow, and then the upper thoracic spine follows next. For opening up the throat, and then starting with this cervical spine, tucking the chin to the chest, upper thoracic spine starts to dome out, mid back follows, lower back follows, folding all the way forward. See if you can fold forward really slowly and methodically, feeling your awareness on these different aspects of your spine, emptying all the way into the fold, perhaps micro bend the knees, and then rising back up. Lower back starts to lead you up, mid back follows. Taking this as slow as you can comfortably go. Upper thoracic spine, then we gently start to get into that cervical spine, opening up the throat, opening up the chest, looking up towards the ceiling. You'll feel a compression at the back of the neck, and then take it the other way, chin to chest, starting with that upper cervical spine. Upper thoracic spine follows, mid back follows, lower back follows, vertebrae by vertebrae, hinging forward into your fold. Last one, vertebrae by vertebrae. See if you can rise to stand. Lower back will lead you, mid back follows, upper thoracic spine, then finally we get into the cervical spine. Vertebrae by vertebrae, feeling this compression along the back body as that front line starts to open up, opening up the throat last and looking up towards the sky. And then just release your head back down to neutral and stand in Tadasana, mountain pose. This is like an anatomical pose. So your palms are facing the front. Your fingertips are sort of magnetized down towards the earth as your shoulder blades draw back and down, lifting through this imaginary string at the top of the head, engaging your core, hug in and up through the midline. Feel these grounded action through your feet as you spiral your awareness up through your legs, and find all of those points of posture throughout the body as you hug in and up through the midline, shoulders drawing down, chest elevated and lifted, lengthening through the top of the head and maintaining that nice alignment through the neck. Feeling that groundedness through the feet. Take one more big breath in and a long emptying breath out. From here, crossing your right foot over the left foot, reach your hands all the way up towards the sky and catch your right hand with your left hand, and then just start to fold over towards the left side. So you're getting this big opening along the right side of your body. Big breath in, long breath out. One more big breath in and a long breath out. Draw your hands back to center, release your arms, keep your feet crossed, and then just hinge forward. So the right foot's still crossed over the left, hinging back into your fold. You should feel that a little bit deeper along the right side. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Uncross the right foot, take the left foot on top of the right. Sweep both hands up to the sky, breathing in. And then the right hand catches left wrist, and we're opening up that left side, compressing the right side of our bodies. Big breath in. Long breath out. Big breath in. Long breath out. Draw your hands back to center, release them down by your sides and hinge forward from your hips. Feeling that stretch intensify along that side of your leg that is crossed. And take one more big breath in. A long breath out. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in as you rise all the way back up to stand, uncross your feet, and this time take your feet about hip distance apart or even a little bit wider as you wrap your hands all the way around and behind, and see if you can catch a bind with your hands. If you cannot catch a bind, just take a reverse prayer instead that will look a bit like this. Or if you do have like a yoga strap, you could always use that instead and catch that in both of your hands. So once you've found your bind of choice, we will hinge forward from our hips and let gravity take our hands all the way over our shoulders. So you're starting to find this big opening through your shoulders. As you engage your core, hinge forward from the hips and find that nice big stretch through the back line of your body. Take 2 big breaths as you find your way down. One more big breath in. A long breath out. Breathe in as you now rise all the way back up to stand. Releasing any straps that you may have been using, moving any blocks out of the way ahead of you. Take your feet together, big toes come to meet at the top of the mat, palms face the front. You're in that anatomical position or Tadasana pose. Sweep your hands all the way up to the sky, look up and lengthen. And on the exhale, we hinge forward from our hips. We take our arms wide, maybe even micro bend the knees as you fold forward. Breathe in, halfway lift, hands move up to your shins, look up and lengthen through the spine. Exhale, hinging forward from your hips, your hands find the earth framing your feet. Walk, step, or jump your way back to a high plank position. Take a chaturanga, which resembles a push-up. So option to ground your knees to the mat now and lower your whole torso to the earth. Otherwise, like a push-up, we're going to bend our elbows towards our waistline as we lower our chest down towards the earth with our shoulders over our wrists. Light on our toes, we've got that engagement of our core and we're just hovering above the earth. Then tuck your toes under, lift out of the shoulders, press into your wrists and start to roll the toes under so you end up in this big upward facing dog. You'll feel your thighs engaged, this lengthening through the front line of your body. From upward facing dog, press all the way back now to downward facing dog. So the sit bones lift high, your feet are hip distance apart, you're right up on the tippy toes, chest is actively folding through towards your thighs. Take 3 big breaths in and out. Deep breath in, a long breath out. One more big breath in, and a long emptying breath out. From here, begin to sweep your right leg high towards the sky, so you're in a 3-legged dog. Take a big breath in, hips are level and square and the toes are pointed. On the next exhale, you're tiger curling this knee out wide of the right tricep, feeling your core engage and your shoulders stack over the wrists. Come lighter onto the left toes. Inhale, sweep that right leg back up to the sky, and then exhale, tiger curl it outside that right tricep muscle once again. Good. Inhale, sweep the leg back up, and on this 3rd breath, we're using this curl to step our foot outside the right wrist. As the right foot steps outside the right wrist, we're actually going to sweep our right hand up to the sky and end up in one of these familiar twists again. So left hand is stabilizing, right hand is outside the left wrist, quite wide on your mat, as your right hand has reached up over the sky, and ideally we're sacking that right shoulder and wrist over the left wrist and shoulder. So you've got this nice alignment there in the middle. You should feel a big twist opening up. Big breath in, a long breath out. One more big breath in, and a long breath out. From here, keep grounding through that left wrist and see if you can wrap the right leg all the way around, stacking your feet so you end up in a side plank supported by the left hand, with the right hand swept up, stacked above the left shoulder, and your whole body is in alignment inside. Lifting out of the left shoulder, activate your core, hold for a big breath in, a long breath out, and then just return through to a high plank. So right hand grounds down, shoulders stack over the wrist, light on the toes of both feet, light on those tippy toes, and then lower through chaturanga dandasana like a push-up. So bend your elbows towards your waistline, hover your chest above the earth, tuck your toes under, lift out of the shoulders, open all the way up, open the throat, you're in a back bend, and then return to downward facing dog. Exhale there. Deep breath in, long emptying breath out, big breath in, long breath out. We'll take that variation on the second side. So inhale, sweep the left leg high to the sky. You're in your three-legged dog. The hips are still level and square. Your core is still somewhat engaged. And you're just holding, pointing those toes for a moment. On the next exhale, bring the left knee out wide of the left tricep. Shoulders are over the wrist. Your body weight has traveled forward and you're light on those right toes with core engaged. Breathe in, sweep that left leg high to the sky. You're in your three-legged dog. Exhale, take the left knee wide outside left tricep, shoulders over the wrist, light on those right toes, core engaged. Inhale, sweep the leg all the way back up. And on the third exhale, step that left foot outside the left wrist. As the left foot steps outside that left wrist, we're going to sweep our left hand high, support ourselves with our right hand, stack the left wrist and left shoulder above the right shoulder and right wrist line. Look up towards the left hand, find that big opening sensation through the chest. And then from there, just start to ground through the right side even more. Wrap the left leg all the way around and behind so you end up in your side plank. The right hand is now your stabilizing hand. You're lifting out of that right side. You're lifting out of the right shoulder. Your feet are stacked behind you and your core is engaged, and you're continuing to look up towards this left hand. One more big breath in. Then release yourself back into your high plank. Left hand finds the earth. Travel forward on your tippy toes, so shoulders are over the wrist. Lower through a push-up position known as chaturanga. Elbows bend towards the waistline. Take it slow like you're in slow motion. Chest hovers just above the earth. Now toes tuck under, press into the finger pads. Lift out of the shoulders, open up the chest, open up your throat. You're in your upward facing dog and the toes have rolled under as you're pressing your body weight sort of forward and up. On the next exhale, travel back into a downward facing dog, rolling back so you're on your tippy toes, the sit bones lift high, your feet are hip distance apart. Take a big breath in and a long breath out. Take a big breath in and a long emptying breath out. 2 more big breaths in, long emptying breath out. 1 more big breath in, long breath out. From here, travel back into your downward facing dog if you're elsewhere. Begin to sweep your right leg high into your three-legged dog variation. From here, we're using a tiger curl straight in towards the nose. So exhale, right knee in towards the nose. Inhale, sweep the right leg back into your three-legged dog variation. Exhale, draw the knee into the nose, shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, sweep that right leg high, three-legged dog. And then this round, exhale, step the foot as close as you can just between your wrists, and then rise all the way up to find a warrior one. So in warrior one, your back foot, the left heel is on the mat and the left toes are just on an angle sort of pointing towards the front of the room. Your hips are still square to the front and your right heel and big toes are grounded, pointed towards the front. The main focus is to keep this level and square shape of your hips tilted forward. Rather than letting them flare out wide on a diagonal, angle your hips to the front of the room. Sweeping your hands up to the sky, and ideally see if you can press your palms together in prayer. If that's too much of a struggle, keep your hands wider and actively draw the shoulder blades back and down as you focus on squaring your hips to the front of the room. Big breath in, long emptying breath out. 1 more. Inhale in warrior one or Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, send the right hand ahead and windmill this left hand around, almost like a big surfer on a surfboard. Gaze over your right index pointer. Start to direct your right knee towards the middle toes. So don't let that right knee knock in. Keep angling it towards those middle toes like an arrow or pointer. Gaze over your index pointer, and your hips are a bit wider now. That left foot stepped kind of out wider, so the left toes are pointed towards the side of the room, and you're focusing on the front of the room. Like you've got this big bow and arrow in your arms and you're about to fire at your target. Take one more big breath in and a long breath out. While the knees bend, just bring the right hand down and find one of your blocks and then glide that block inside the right foot at the highest level. From here, beginning to return back to warrior two, so right hand is ahead, lengthen the right leg, and then exhale, bend the right leg, so you're back in warrior two. Inhale, lengthen, keep the gaze over your right index pointer, exhale, bend. Last one, inhale, lengthen the right leg, keep it as straight as you can, keep your hips nice and straight, so hug that right hip in towards the midline, gazing towards your index pointer, start to hinge forward from your hips like you're reaching for something at the front of the room. So your arm is straight and the leg is straight. You're hinging forward, reaching, and eventually you'll just hinge even deeper from the hips. Right hand folds down and either hovers by the right knee, down by the ankle, or it might actually stack your fingertips onto that right block inside the foot. Holding in this position for 5 deep breaths. As you find the position, you're feeling all of your muscles working together. So the muscles in your chest open up as you engage all the muscles in your back. You look up to your top hand, almost like someone is lifting you up and out of the shape. Keep your core as strong as you can as you maintain your breath. Try not to dump into that bottom hand. You're just using every muscle to hug in and up. So from the front, we actually have a straight line in our triangle shape. Take 2 more big breaths in and a long breath out. Big breath in, long breath out. Rise out of your triangle in the next inhale. So from your hips, rise all the way back up and just bend the knee. Then lengthen the leg. Pivot your toes to the side and pigeon toe your feet. So feet turn in and we're facing the side of the room. From here, bring your hands to your hips, take an inhale, lengthen through the top of the head, and then exhale, hinge yourself forward into this sumo wide-legged fold position. Utthita Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged fold. Relax your upper body and bend your knees as much as you like. You can keep your hands at your hips if you desire, or you can just let them dangle forward like we've been doing in other forward folds. From here, we take our right hand, if you can reach it, down towards the earth and reach your left hand up. So finding that opening sensation, that big twist once again. Inhale there. Long breath out. Big breath in, look up to that left hand. Long breath out. Release the left hand down, sweep your right hand high, look up, lengthen, gazing towards those right fingertips. Big breath in, long breath out. One more inhale and exhale, big breath in, and then release both sides. Bring your hands back to the hips, micro bend the knees, and rise all the way back up to stand. From here, just pivot that front foot towards the top of the mat. And from there, we frame our feet, take a chaturanga all the way back down towards the mat. Take an up dog or a cobra variation, inhale, and end up in your downward facing dog. Exhale. Taking a few big breaths in and out. So we'll work through that little flow through the second side, returning to downward facing dog when you're ready, if you're elsewhere like a child's pose. And then sweep your left leg high towards the sky. Tiger curl the left knee in towards the nose, so shoulders are over the wrist, you're light on those right toes. Inhale, 3-legged dog, draw the left leg back to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose, shoulders over the wrist, light on right toes. Inhale, sweep the left leg back to 3-legged dog. And then exhale, tiger curl the knee in and use that curl to step the foot forward in between your wrists. Inhale, rise all the way up into your first warrior one. So both heels are on the mat. Our hips are square to the front. Our gaze is over our left big toes. Hips are square. And then from here, your hands sweep up and reach up, pressing your palms together. So both hips are square towards the front, the right toes on just about a 45-degree angle, sort of squaring your hips off to the front of the room. Gazing up, drawing those shoulder blades back and down if you can, or pressing the palms together. Take one more big breath and then windmill the right hand behind, left hand is ahead. You're gazing over the left index pointer, widening that foot on the right side so you've got more of an open hip now. As your hips open out to the side, your whole sort of side of your body, that front side, is sort of facing the side of the room, but your gaze is over your index pointer. Like your body is open to the right side, but your attention is at the front of the room. Gazing over that index pointer, directing the left knee towards middle toes. Do not let the knee knock in, and keeping a sensation of drawing the energy up from the earth in towards the midline, towards that point of gaze ahead of you. One more big breath in. Long breath out. Just checking you've got the necessary blocks ahead if you'd like to use them. We now begin to lengthen the front leg and then exhale, bend. Inhale, lengthen the front leg and exhale, bend. While the leg is bent, just glide that block inside where the foot is, and then just beginning to return to warrior two. Lengthen the front leg as much as you can. And then start to hinge forward from your hips. Are you reaching towards the front of the room? Keep reaching, keep the arm and leg straight, keeping that left hip hugged in towards the midline so you can feel the stretch more along the back of the leg rather than letting it rock out too wide towards the left. Keep hugging it in, keep hinging forward. Bring the left hand down. It either hovers by the knee or the ankle, or it grounds upon the block. Take a full breath in. You're in triangle trikonasana now. Look up towards your top right hand. Feel your back body, all of those muscles in your back, engage as you open up your chest and look up to that top hand above. Feel your core ignite and keep lifting up and opening up. 2 more big breaths in and out. Deep breath in. Long breath out. 1 more big breath in. Long breath out. Begin to bend the front knee. Return to warrior two. So come back to the middle. Then pivot that left foot to the side. Pigeon toe your feet in this wide-legged stance at the side of the room. So you're facing the right side now. Bring your hands to your hips. Lengthen through the top of the head. Draw the shoulder blades back and down. Hug in just gently through the core. Keep those feet slightly turned in or pigeon-toed, and then hinge forward from your hips. As you hinge forward, you might even like to bend your knees a little or a lot. Take a big breath in. Long breath out. Now, if you can just hang out here if it feels good to do so, or if you're able, release the left hand down to the earth, sweep your right hand high and look up and follow the line of your gaze. The shoulder and wrist stack over this bottom shoulder and wrist, and you get this nice opening up through your chest. Take 2 more big breaths, just like you did on the first side. Last big breath in, and a long breath out. Release the right hand, sweep the left hand high, big breath in. Long breath out. 1 more big breath in, opening up that chest, feeling that twist through the midline. And exhale. Begin to release your hands back through to center with both sides. Bring your hands back to the hips. Inhale, rise all the way up. Pivot that front left foot towards the top of the mat. Frame your front foot with both hands. Take a chaturanga, so shoulders over the wrist, sweeping the leg back behind you. Up dog or cobra, your back bend of choice, pressing into the palms, lifting out of your shoulders. Inhale. And then exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Or optional child's pose here, grounding down a little to a more gentle shape. From this position, just stepping forward into a yogi squat. So stepping from downward facing dog, step the right foot outside the right wrist and the left foot outside the left wrist. And then just hang out there. You might even widen your stance. Take 3 big breaths. Palms pressed together, lengthening through the top of the head. Inhale. And exhale. Breathing in. And breathing out. One more big breath in. Long breath out. Take the right hand behind you, left hand follows, and just drop yourself onto your bottom. And then from here, bring your feet together. We're finding our way into Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose. So the knees open wide, your feet are together, and we're hinging forward from your hips. Relax your shoulders, relax your face, relax your jaw, and find this nice opening or gentle stretch in the lower back, the hip extensors, all of those muscles along the back line of your body. And just let that breath just sort of slow you down and stop you in your tracks now as you feel yourself just grounding finally in the space. As you feel the openness of your body and the integrity of all the muscles and bones. You might notice the fascia or the tissues or places that feel particularly tense or tight. Maybe you can sense where the blood is flowing. Take one more big breath in. And a long emptying breath out. Inhale, slowly rise all the way back up to stand. Not to stand, just out of the fold. And then from here, widen your legs. So we're coming into this pose in yin. It's known as dragonfly. You can widen the legs and then start to hinge forward from where you are. Hinging forward, or if that feels a little too big today, just take your hands behind and let your chest open up and feel just more of the back of the hamstrings getting a nice stretch just as you sit here, and then the rest of the body opening up. That might feel nicer today. Take 3 more big breaths in your wide-legged position. And your last big breath in. Hinge a little deeper into the shape. And then slowly come out of that position, rolling over onto your back now, and bring your knees into your chest for a cuddle and a circle and stir. Circling and stirring into that lower back, into all of those muscles in the lower back. You can take big circles, you can take little ones. Just really working intuitively and instinctively with yourself there. Let your body sort of guide the way as it communicates through the sensations it provides. And then from here, just lengthen both legs long, create a visual T shape. So your arms are opening out wide like a cross or a T. And direct your right knee in towards your chest. Now you have the option to use one of your blocks over on the left side of your hip. So if it's accessible, just grab a block first. Take the block to the left side of your hip. Then catch your right knee with your left hand and direct that right knee across to the left side as you turn and gaze and look towards your right side. Take a big breath in and a long breath out. You've got 5 big breaths in this twist. Just letting yourself relax into that one, using the support of the block if you need to. 3 more big breaths in and out. 2 more in and out. Last big breath in. Long breath out. Draw that leg back through center. Give it a big squeeze with both hands. Release the right leg. Bring the left knee in towards your chest and catch the left knee with your right hand. And direct that left knee over to the right as you turn your gaze towards the left side. Take a full breath in. A long breath out. And 5 more deep breaths. Looking to the left, finding that big opening through the lower back. sort of wringing yourself out like a sponge. Really contemplating on that feeling of release and letting go, letting the energy of the day go, letting go of any energy that's not yours to carry, any stresses of the day, any worries of the mind. Just let it all empty out and give yourself the presence to just be here fully where you are. To feel grateful for this body, for all it is, and to really feel grateful for this time that you've dedicated to just give back to yourself in whatever way you can today, which may be just an hour of practice wherever you fit it in, or maybe you didn't make it this far, or if you are listening, you obviously did, but just drawing that knee back through center, give it a big squeeze, and then exhale, let the leg relax long. And then just grounding now. We'll just ground for the last 5 minutes in Shavasana. Just noticing as you find yourself here in this position, if there is anything else you did need as you arrive, if there's a particular stretch you love to do, just feel free to just bring that into the space. It might be a happy baby where you catch the big toes and let your legs invert high. It might be in an inversion, a particular inversion you love, or another back bend here on the back, like bridge pose. Or maybe you're just happy to rest now and relax into Shavasana, letting your legs lengthen long, letting your feet just ground hip distance apart, all props are out of the way. You can close down your eyes and just breathe where you are. Deepening your breath. For the first 3 breaths, we'll breathe together, breathing in through your nose and breathing a long sigh out the mouth, just to let go the energy of the day, the energy of the drive, the energy of the mind, just to let it go and to cultivate presence for here and now where you are. To cultivate gratitude for your body, to cultivate gratitude for anything at all that you're grateful for today. And just to come back to the portal of presence. To come back to the nourishment of giving your nervous system rest and rejuvenation that you can find from deep breaths. So breathing in, taking that long sigh out, breathing in, long sigh out, one more big breath in, and let it go. Enjoying this moment of Shavasana, this moment of stillness and rest now. And if you've got the time to stay a little longer today, you're welcome to do so. Or otherwise, just starting to gently bring your awareness back to this moment, this day, the space around you. You might wriggle your feet. You might wriggle your fingertips. You might like to reach your hands up and above overhead as you take another deep and full breath in. And a long and emptying breath out. Take a big breath in. Long and emptying breath out. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Just beginning to roll to one side. Ground your body there. Coming back to any intentions you created for yourself in the beginning, or anything you're grateful for today. The feeling in your body. The feeling of this moment of presence here and now. And then slowly just return all the way up to a seated position, closing down the eyes, and close it out with 3 final breaths in gratitude. Inhale and exhale. Breathing in, breathing out. Your last big breath in. Exhale, let it go. Thank you so much for practicing. Please feel free to leave some feedback, leave a message if you love these classes, or if you're grateful for them. I love hearing from you. I love your feedback, and I hope you have a wonderful day.